So just bear with us. So I am just going to kind of say hello to some people in the chat while we're getting started here. All right, so hello to Filthy Will back once again. We got Megan Lee back again. Kathy, welcome. Glad to have you. We got Charles Smith. The Bird 101. Perfect. And Charles is learning the theme of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, a great American classic. I agree. And let's see here. Tim just seemed to know I was having trouble counting 16th, says the Bird. And Graham, we got, I think I said hi to Megan. And, of course, hello again to Jeremy. Let's make sure I'm good to go. Okay, it looks like everything is coming through just fine. So we're going to get started here. Give me another 15 seconds or so. I need to get the Facebook stream started. And then we're going to get just right on with the lesson. So just give me a few seconds. Hello students, it's your piano teacher Tim here. Welcome out to our classroom piano lessons on the web. So glad to have you again today. And if it's your first time watching on Facebook, make sure you like our page. If you're watching over on YouTube, make sure you're subscribed. You have all notifications on because we have new lessons coming out all the time. And what? You don't want to miss a beat. So we're going to get started right on here. Let me just give me a second here. And hello to everybody in the chat today. And then we'll get going here. Oh, just give me a second here. I need to plug something in. There we go. Yes. All right, good. All right, now we're almost ready. Sorry about that. There's always some kind of glitch or something. But here we go. All right, gonna do the intro. 16th notes. I'm gonna teach you how to count them today. Your piano teacher Tim here, and before we begin, make sure that you're subscribed. You have all notifications turned on because we have new lessons coming out all the time. You don't want to miss a beat. All right, let's get right to it. All right, so here we go. Nice short intro. Usually the shorter the intro, the better, but we'll test it out here. All right, let me draw out a couple of things here. Should just take a second or so. And hopefully everybody's having a marvelous day. Wow, it actually worked. Okay. Okay, before I teach you all about 16th notes, I'm going to quickly review a couple of notes that you have to know in order to really get the concept behind 16th notes. The first is the whole note, which is this guy right here. All you have to do, quite simply, is you play the piano and you count 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice and even like that. And remember that we can only fit 4 beats into each of these blocks. You know, see how they're blocked out like this rather. Those are called measures, and what tells us how many beats can fit in each measure is actually the time signature right here, and the top number tells you how many beats in each measure. That's really what we're looking at today anyway. There is more to that, but right here in this measure right here, as you can see, you have now 2 half notes. A half note, since a whole note took up a whole measure of 4/4 equaling 4 beats, a half note is going to be worth 2 beats. So instead of counting 1 for 4, you're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. With each of those notes getting 2 of the beats of the 4 total beats. All right, and then you have your quarter notes. So you can have 4 quarter notes in a measure of 4/4. 1, 2, 3, 4, just like that. So now we need to talk about how do we count notes that get smaller than a quarter note. You know, how do you count less than 1? Well, I'll show you with eighth notes. All right, give me a sec here. Oh, the allergies just kicked in, of course. Oh, man. Although certainly a lot better than when we used to operate outside in the basement. So, let's see here. Perfect. There we go. Okay, now we have these things called eighth notes. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw out the 4 beats that we have. So an eighth note gets half of a beat, which means we have to figure out how do you account for the other half of each beat. We still have our 4 beats here, and there's 2 eighth notes in a quarter note. Since a quarter note's worth 1, eighth note's worth half, you need 2 halves to make a whole beat. So we have 1. We use the term and. It looks like a plus sign. So 1 and, 2 and, 3 and, 4 and. When we start breaking down notes into smaller and smaller pieces, that is what's called subdivision. It's really important when understanding how to count 16th notes or any real small value note correctly. Okay. So before with quarter notes, it was just counted as 1, 2, 3, 4. We still have those 4 beats, but now we're adding in a note in between. So therefore, not our counting's the same in terms of like how far apart the numbers are, but the amount of notes we're hitting in between is twice as many. So instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, just like that. All right. Let's get on to some 16th notes. Let me draw them in here for us. Okay, now we have 16 16th notes in this measure of 4/4. How many beats do you think that is? Well, a 16th note is worth a quarter of what a quarter note was. So each of these now is worth a quarter of a beat. So if we have 16 of them, that still means that we have 4 beats. And if you're wondering how right away I can figure out where each of those numbers are, keep in mind that the way notes are beamed across, at least 99% of the time, they are beamed across in a way that signifies that all those notes together equal 1 beat. At least that's the way it's supposed to work. It's not always so nice, but that's the way you can do it. So if you have just straight 16ths, I can see the first of each of those 4 groups is the number beat. Okay, we're also going to have the and of each beat, just like we did before, except it's a little more spaced out since we now have some notes in between. So you have 1 and, 2 and, 3 and, 4 and, just like that. However, we have to figure out how in the world we're going to account for these other missing, sections of a beat or fractions of a beat. So let me show you. So before we broke the beats into 2 different parts, the 1 and then the and of each beat, each of those then representing half of a beat. But now, whoa, come on, there we go. But now we have some syllables in between. You got E, so it's going to be 1 E and then the last one, well, with my handwriting, it's impossible to tell. But it's supposed to be an A, but we would pronounce that so it's 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and and then when I count it, it's going to be really smooth. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and just like that. So going from quarter notes again, let me bring those up all the way back here. You just have 1, 2, 3, 4. So on the piano, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you go to eighth notes where it was 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and now these have to be twice as fast as you were counting those eighth notes. So 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and I'm still counting the 1, 2, 3, 4 in the exact same place they were before, but now I'm adding in, dividing them each into 4 using 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a, just like that. Okay, I want to check in real quick with the chat, making sure you guys are all good, making sure there's no catastrophes thus far. Okay, you can count with words. Somebody give me a word that you can count 16th notes with. All right, let's continue here. Okay, we're going to do some mixed 16th patterns here. And let me do that. So let's kind of do some examples here. Since I know, even though I did explain this in another lesson we did recently, I think a lot of students are still, practicing how to do this correctly. So let's take a look. It's in a book. It's Reading Rainbow. And let's do that. Let's get like a full... Oh, no, let's do this. Sorry. All right, just give me a couple more seconds, guys. All right. Okay, we got that type. And then this is what I'm going to do. Almost. It almost knew what I was going to do, but not really. No, that's not what I want. All right. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Now we're cooking. There we go. Oh, you guys don't even know what I'm doing. Which is all right, because when we piece the video together, that part will be cut out. Okay, we have a new measure of rhythms. So the first thing I always like to do is chart out where each of our 4 beats are. How are we going to do that? There's a way visually we can do that like right away. I mentioned it earlier in the lesson. Think about it. You might have to go back to it or wait a second for me to answer. That is looking at the beams, right? So I said that when notes are beamed across, that signifies, at least most times, that equals 1 beat altogether. So on each of these first notes of each of these patterns, I'm going to write down what beat it is. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So there you go. So a lot of the legwork is cut out for us. Now, the thing is now we have some mixed rhythm patterns. Wait, sorry, let me do this. There we go. So now what we have is some mixed rhythm patterns. So now we had to figure out, well, how long are we going to be holding each of these notes for? So if you take a look at our very first note here, it's an eighth connected to 2 16th notes. So you can tell it's an eighth because that side where the note is actually connected has only 1 flag on it. You see how there's just 1 line there, whereas these 2 have 2 there. So those are 16ths. First one's an eighth. So now the thing is that because we're dealing with 16th notes in any fashion, we're still going to be doing the subdivision of the 1E and a 2E andas. So the thing is now is I have a question for you. So an eighth note worth half of a beat gets how many of the 1E and a 2E anda syllables? Well, remember that you're breaking down the quarter note into 4 parts using 1, E, and each of those is worth a fourth of the total beat. Therefore, an eighth note worth half of a beat is worth 2 of those. So it's worth 1 E. Or whatever it happens on, it takes up 2 of those. So in this case, it's going to take up 1 E. So I like to put like a little bracket just saying that those are played with that eighth note. And then this is going to be anda. So we still have our 16th subdivision there. And then here, this first note here on beat 2 is a 16th note. See how it has that double flag. And see how the last one only has a single flag. So this is going to be 2E. And then wait a second, we still need an Well, the last one's an eighth note, which takes up 2 of those guys. And then here we have a really weird rhythm where it's 16th, 8th, 16th. You can tell because there's flag here, double flag here, single flag in the middle. So therefore, we still need our 3 E andas, but this time 3 is going to be taken up by the 16th note. E and is the 8th note. Remember, that takes up 2 of those. And then is the last 16th note. And then thank goodness that our last grouping is just straight 16th notes. So now I'm going to play this and I'm going to count it, nice and slow. But this is how it's going to go. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and When you first do this, you might have to count it way slower than that. You might have to seriously just go one beat at a time, or one full beat at a time, just going like 1 E and it might even be slower than that. So if you're just starting out, just keep in mind it is going to take some time to get this. Even if you're charting them out correctly, it's going to take time for you to really understand that rhythmically in your mind. Just throwing that out there so you know. Okay. See what we got here. All right, looking at what we're doing here. All right, so let me do this. Let me look through some comments here because somebody did ask me a question. I don't know if I can get that or not. Hold on. Let me read it from the bottom up. Okay. Hey, Island's back. Hey, Island. So glad to have you with us again. It's been a while. So happy that you're here. That's awesome. Let's see. Charles says pop is different. Okay. Suggestion: 10 easy pop songs. Do I have a lesson like that? I don't think I do. That's actually not a bad lesson idea for sure. Or 10 pop songs beginners can play or something. The title is super important for a video, if anybody is wondering. Let's see. I would like a sound example too. Please, Tim, says Kathy. Can you possibly play 16th notes in a regular song? How could anyone possibly play that fast? By count. Good question by Daryl. By playing the quarter notes slower, right? So it's all relative to how you're counting those one beat quarter notes. So let me put it this way. If I count the quarter notes this fast, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, when I turn that into 16th notes, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, that would be extremely hard to play. It is possible, especially if you have the notes in a row. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, just like that. But you got to keep in mind that if you're like, well, those 16th notes are way too humanly impossible to play, well, you got to start out playing your quarter notes slower. So maybe like 1, 2, 3, 4. And then that would go into 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and just like that. So it's all relative to how you're counting the larger note values. If you find that playing 16th notes is impossible, make sure that you are slowing down all the others. That is called the tempo, by the way, how fast you count the beats by. So a slow tempo, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a fast tempo would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, getting faster and faster. But you keep in mind, the faster the tempo, the harder it is for you to play those 16th notes. But that was a great question. Cottage cheese. Oh, that would be like the 2/16. Tim, I won't allow the chat to be offhand. Well, thank you very much, Jeremy. I appreciate it. And if something ever gets by, don't worry about it. I understand that you can't possibly be like, here all the time. You have a life too. If you have to get up and go to the bathroom, don't worry about it. So I won't get mad at you if something does get through. Actually, I can't get mad at anybody because that's kind of what the trolls want when they post bad stuff like that, is they want me to get me a reaction. Sometimes they get it, but sometimes, a lot of times now, I just am a lot better at not doing it. Hey, Andy's here. How you doing, Andy? So glad to have you with us. Same thing with Daryl. All right, you know what I'm going to do? We're still sticking around, so don't go anywhere. What we're going to do right now is I'm going to do the outro for the video. And then we'll continue with the live stream after that. So it's going to sound like I'm ending, but not really. So here we go. Counting's so important to learning how to play piano, and if you want to learn how to count the right way all the time, no matter what, check out this lesson right here. Highly, highly recommended that you take a look. It's been your piano teacher, Tim, here. Thank you so much for coming by today, and thank you, yes, you, for coming by today, having a great lesson. All right, have a good one. Bye-bye. I butchered it, but I thought it was kind of endearing, so we're gonna keep it. Yeah, so never say never. I don't know who first said never, but oh, maybe Andy. So it takes a lot of time to get this stuff, so you might find that you're not getting it right away. You might not get it after the first month, but just keep working on it. It will. The weird thing about music stuff is it does, like, to me, it's the most clicky kind of thing in this sense. Not like click as in a group, but like I'll work on something music related and I just won't get it, and then all of a sudden it'll just click, and then it'll all make sense, like after months and months of working on it, or days or weeks, how, whatever it may be. So just keep in mind that music, and what's weird is I don't get that with math as much, although I'm sure if I was really into math I probably would encounter that. But I find that with music very common with me as well. So if you're not getting something at first, don't worry about it. You will get it very soon, or eventually. Persistence is key. How does staccato? This is a great question by Kathy. I love this question. How does staccato fit into counting? Great question. The short answer is actually it doesn't, and you'll see what I mean here in a second. So let me copy a measure, and I'll show you, how this works with the staccato. So let me draw, or at least try to. Hopefully it lets me do it. Staccatos over every note. Oh, almost got there. Okay. All right. And then maybe on the last two beats I won't do the staccatos. So you're going to count these exactly the way we were doing it before. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and So here you go. I'm going to count out the all 4 beats. The first 2 beats being staccato. So 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and See just how on the last ones I was just holding them for a little bit longer, where the first 2 beats I was just going 1 E and you're coming off the note faster, but you're still overall keeping the amount of time that it has to go by. So let me do I think actually an example with quarter notes is even better, because you'll hear the difference better. So what I'll do is I'll do the first one staccato, third one staccato, and then 2 and 4 will not be staccato. So you're still going to count 1. Let me show you at the piano here. 1, 2, 3, 4, except now it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I still counted 1, 2, 3, 4. I just played 1 and 3. I just came off of them shorter, but the distances between the notes were exactly the same, or as exact as I could make them. Anyway, it's kind of a strange example, but yeah, counting doesn't. Staccatos do not really come into account when counting out the measures. Still counted the same way. Yeah, Daryl, you can always come back and replay anything. I found your video very helpful. Thank you, Steven. Glad to hear it. Make sure you're leaving a like on this video. It lets other people know. It's a quality lesson they can learn from as well. Daryl says, how do I finish watching this since it is live? Oh, yeah. Okay, no problem, Daryl. So at the same link you're going to find this at, copy down the link or maybe favorite it in your browser, and then just come back later and you can rewatch it. It's available, I think, pretty much these days, like right away almost. Before it would take a couple of hours, but I think now it's like pretty much you can get right onto it. All right, let me just kind of walk you guys through what we're doing for the rest of the month, which is only, what, one more lesson? Or yeah, because then it'll be November. Whoa, it'll be November. Okay, so first things first, over on my website, pianolessonsontheweb.com. Oh, I did end the fall sale. I need to get rid of that. I thought I got rid of that. Maybe I didn't publish the page. Anyway, the fall sale is now over, but you can pick up still a course pack, get a pretty good deal on that. So anyway, to explain, I have over 20 courses designed to help you learn a lot more about piano music. And if you're a fan of my YouTube channel, you're going to really love these courses because not only do they include instructional videos similar to the ones you're used to, but they also include notes, worksheets, real sheet music to play, and assignments to go along with those videos so that you're not just learning a topic and moving on, but you're learning it. You have the opportunity to practice it and master it as well. And these are great for beginners. So if you're just starting out, you need a solid foundation to build on, or you have experience already and you're looking to advance your skills, my courses will help you. And of course, you're not just going to learn piano. You're going to be learning about music theory, improvisation, rhythm, ear training, and anything else I felt like you would need to become a well-rounded musician. So you can read the rest on what my courses can offer for you here, and the rest of the information on the page. I just want to throw out, since you probably missed the fall sale, use code YouTube during checkout, and you're going to get an additional 15% off. But the real reason I wanted to come here right now, because I do want to let you guys know about that, is on the community page. So if you click on community at the top, this is basically for those who are attending the live classes. So hey, that's you right now probably. And so I have the calendar towards the bottom of the page telling you what we're talking about for the month. So as November draws nearer, probably next day or so, I will fill out the calendar for November. But basically, we meet Fridays, Sundays, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, you can see what we're going to be talking about. So next lesson, 2 days from now, is what is syncopation. So I'm going to be talking about that. That's going to be a really good lesson. Never talked about it before on the YouTube channel. So check that out. Okay, Filthy Will says, what's up with the Student Showcase series? I'm almost ready to contribute something. Finally, I saw one, but thought it was fun content episode. Okay, so it's coming back soon. I just, I went on, I took a break during the summer and just kind of went on hiatus for a little bit. But it will be back. Let's shoot for having one at the end of November. So what the Student Showcase is that you guys send me clips of you playing, send me to them through email, tim@lessonsontheweb.com. You can send them through Facebook. So you can send me a recording, and I will play it during the Student Showcase live stream, and I will actually give you feedback just like if you were taking a one-on-one lesson with me. So then it will come back. Andy says it is so old. Marcel says, is there a new Student Showcase coming, Tim? So yeah. Absolutely. So we'll shoot for the end of November. Karen says, looking forward to the syncopation on Sunday. Hopefully you'll be able to explain it to my Hannah better than I seem to be doing. Yeah, it can be kind of tricky for sure. Cycle Motion says, do you think learning piano would make it easier to make beats? I do. I can't say for sure because I don't make beats really, but I think it is. I think it's easier for composing in general because the thing about a piano, right? So like if you're ever writing music, you need, bass instruments. So you like have bass guitar. I don't know, like if you're writing for a certain band, you'd have like trombone and then euphonium, and then the instruments as they get higher and higher until you get to like flute or piccolo or something all the way up there. The cool thing about piano music is when you start doing it on the piano, you can actually chart out each of these like moving parts to a certain instrument. So that makes it a little bit easier. So yeah, I think it would help you even with just making beats, because being able to play things in time will give you some information on, or some idea on how to play those correctly, or create those correctly. But like I said, I can't tell you much about it because I don't make beats myself. I think it will help you out though. Marcel says, great, I will practice for it. Perfect. We'll be glad to hear from you guys then at the end of the month. Definitely don't need to know piano to make beats, though. Yeah, you don't have to, for sure. Are you streaming again on Sunday? Yes, Andy, we are streaming again on Sunday. Same time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, guys. A little bit tired today, but I'm doing pretty good. Oh, I got you. Thank you, man. You're very welcome, Cycle. All right, good, Andy. Glad to hear it. Hey, real Lindsay fans here. Hey, Tim. Hi, all. Long time no see. Yeah, definitely. Probably can't stay, but I thought I'd say hi. Well, I really appreciate it, real Lindsay fan. So happy to have you with us today. That's amazing. At least for a little short amount of time. Perfect. Kuru says, wow, first time tuning in. So thank you so much, Kuru, for coming, and you're welcome back anytime. I want to thank Jeremy once again. Thanks, Jeremy. You don't have to do this, but thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Very helpful. Thank you so much for your support. Of course, last time you left a really big one. But, you know, I really, really appreciate everybody's support, whether, you know, you're just attending the live stream, you're answering comments, or you give a super chat or sign up for courses is even, you know, also a great way to contribute. So thank you so much for all of you. If you want to leave a super chat and you wonder like what the heck I'm talking about, right underneath like the chat part here, there's like a $sign and you can click it, and you can either leave a super sticker, which is like this animated thing Jeremy did, or you can leave a super chat where you just type in, you know, the amount you want to donate, or I guess like you scroll on the bar here. Oh, you donate up to 500. You don't have to do that. I was curious how high it's going to go. But, you know, you select how much you want to donate. So like maybe $2, and then you click, you put in your message, and you say buy and send, and then it donates it to me. But, of course, completely optional, but I just want to let everybody know about that, since some people are still kind of like confused about how that works. And actually, it's not available to all cities and all countries yet, unfortunately. Oh, thank you so much, Marcel. Marcel left me as 2, I don't know what currency that is, but 2 of them. Thank you so much for that, Marcel. I really appreciate it. It looks like it's around $2 probably. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jeremy. I appreciate that. Saying no worries, Tim. You deserve it. Thanks so much. All right, guys. So now you know how the super chat works. Oh, yeah. If you want to donate, another great way is signing up for courses on the website. But I also have a Patreon, which is linked, I believe, in the description below this video. Just go there. You can choose to donate so many dollars per piece of content that I put out. Swiss France. All right, cool. Says Marcel. All right, everybody. I'll stick around for a little bit, but it looks like we'll probably end a little bit early today. I usually like to go to the hour, but it's a little bit shorter of a lesson because it's really not too much to explain the 16th notes, and I don't like to overdo it and over-explain in the videos. All right. Trying to think if I have any other announcements coming up. We have some good lessons coming up in November, but I'm going to be hush hush on what those are for now. So remember to leave a fat like on this video. Much appreciated. Yeah, it's been a while since we've had both Real Winslet fan and Karen in the same chat. And all you need is Rich, and then we'd have the complete like Rich, Jeremy, Karen, and Andy, or in Real Winslet fan rather. Although Andy's been around for a while as well, I believe. Greetings, GB, Great Britain. Real One's a fan says job was a bit hectic for a while, but learning an Einaudi piece now. I apologize, I can't pronounce that. Einaudi? Einaudi. Okay, cool. Tim, most people get the time signature confused with the bottom number. You know, like 4/4 and 6/8 and the 16th notes are different. Yep. So the only difference in 6/8 really is that the 16th notes now only get half of a beat. So they're basically worth what the 8th notes were before. But yeah, people do get that confused a lot for sure. And he says, Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween to you, Andy. I'm not dressing up this year, but, you know, I'll give out some candy. Although I got to figure out how to get rid of the leftover candy so I don't eat it all. And like I did last year. See, the problem is, like, obviously the easy solution is to throw it away, but I don't like doing that. Love Einaudi. Only music where hubby and I are on the same page from Karen. Okay. His is mostly rubbish. Oh, that's hilarious. I love how you use the word rubbish too. It's funny. Ludovico Einaudi. I should probably know who that is, but honestly, just being honest here, I don't know who that is. Jeremy says, my birthday is coming up on the 28th of this month, so I'm celebrating it this weekend. Well, everybody wish Jeremy a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Jeremy. Hope it is filled with fun, laughter, and I don't know, it's another good thing, and good times. So hopefully it's a wonderful birthday for you. I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but I had a birthday a few months ago. It's already a few months ago. But yeah, everybody wish Jeremy a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Jeremy, says Kathy. It's fine, Tim, says Andy. Well, it better be. Here you go. I'll even type something. There you go. So now you have it in typed form as well. Randy's has just made it in time for the discussions. Sort of. I think we're probably going to end here pretty soon, Randy, but you do get, you do get some credit for being here. We got Karen says, Tim in the UK, trash sounds a little harsher. Yeah, it does. But it is funny. I just love the word rubbish. It's funny. I'm during the big 3-0, so you're a little bit younger than me, Jeremy. Congratulations on making it to 30. It is a big birthday indeed. Wow. Big compliment from Randy. You know, these kind of compliments, I actually have been getting like quite a few of these recently, and I really appreciate it. It's like, it's like an ego thing, but I really appreciate it. Randy says, Tim, you've been turning out some really good videos lately. So that means so much. Thank you. And I agree. They have been really good. Like even I'm happy with them for the most part. Still working with my editor on a couple of things, but we have a pretty good rhythm going now. And I'm really, pretty happy with how they're turning out. I get, like, with the editor doing the editing work, obviously the editing is a little bit better than what I could do. some cases a lot better because sometimes I'd rush out the editing. But it also allows me to plan the lessons better. So that's why probably even the structure of the lessons is even better than before. Jeremy says, Tim, again, you deserve it. Thank you so much, Jeremy. I really appreciate it. And if I could donate more, I would. Yeah, don't worry about it, Jeremy. You've already done quite enough, and I really appreciate that. So thank you so much. I would rather, I appreciate the donations, of course, but if you ever are in a circumstance where you're like, well, I can either donate to Tim or I can eat this month, please eat this month. Please choose that and choose yourself over me. But, you know, if you're ever in a position where you can donate, super appreciate it. Karen. Okay, Karen's talking about with the real Winslet fan. Almost everything I've learned about music is because of Tim's classes. Thank you so much, Kathy. That also means a lot to me. Really appreciate it. Real Winslet fan says Tim is still a master of video thumbnails. Although I think it's more accurate to say that I'm getting better at thumbnails. So I was never ever a master at thumbnails, and I'm still not. I appreciate that comment, of course, but and they are getting better and better. Like and I know that's true because you get the data that tells you that. But yeah, so thumbnails are probably one of the more important things, like titles, thumbnails, and then like how the video goes. You know, do people drop off of the video right away, or do they stick and watch? Those are really important things. And so thumbnails is a big deal, and it took a long time to get good at them, and I still throw out a miss every once in a while. Let's see here. No worries, Tim. I'm always eating. I had extra, so no worries. All right, well, great, Jeremy. I'm really happy to hear that. I just throwing that out there for anybody who, if you ever need to make that decision, you know, choose eating, or you know what I mean, taking care of yourself. But I appreciate it, Jeremy. Thank you so much. Real Ones of Fans says, Karen, there's a really nice live version on YouTube of something. Oh, they're okay. They're talking about something else. Karen says, my 23-year-old daughter thinks Tim is cute. Well, thank you so much, Karen. I appreciate it. I got a comment like a week ago. It was from like this woman. At least, well, from the avatar, it was a woman, and she was like, "You're so handsome that I can't concentrate on the video," or something. And I'm like, okay. But I will take the compliment. Thank you. I would send you a birthday cake. Oh, to Jeremy. Roland's fan says we'll investigate immediately after class. Thank you. All right, great. It's so awesome to see like people come together, like my fans and my students. Rather, I like to call you more students than fans. Like when you help each other out in the comments, I think that's so cool. Rachel says hi again. Hello, Rachel. Glad to have you with us. Oh, it's Denissa. Hello, Denissa. So happy to have you with us today. We are unfortunately concluding here probably in the next few minutes, but so happy that you can make it out. And of course, you can watch the recording later on. Don't thank me, thank Hannah. Well, thank you so much, Hannah. I appreciate the compliment. Yeah, you don't have to send Jeremy a cake, but if you want to, you know, just hit him up and send him one. All right, guys, I think I'm going to conclude it here. Thank you so much for coming today. I really appreciate it. Another great lesson. I got a lesson coming out tomorrow morning around 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So take a look at that. And yeah, and then other than that, we're going to be meeting on Sunday, same time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So thanks again, everybody, for your support. Shunq was here again today. I did see you here earlier. Shank Q, and yeah, and everybody else. Thanks again, Jeremy, Andy, Karen, Hannah, Rachel, everybody else that was able to come out today. Apologize if I missed anybody. Kathy, Randy, of course. Randy's always been a good student of ours as well. Okay. Kathy, I think I said a real one's a fan, of course. All right, everybody, thank you so much for coming by today. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Have a good one.